Hey y'all, and thanks for tuning back in today. First off, I want to say thank you to all you veterans. Really appreciate your service. Those that watch my channel have asked me numerous times what I used to do or what I do for a living. I grew up here in Kentucky, kind of dirt poor, and I went in the military at 18. I did 20 years and retired. I still work from home, restore these Fox bodies. My wife is also retired military, and my son's in the Air Force now. So again, thanks for y'all, everybody that serves. I appreciate your service, and I hope y'all have a good Veterans Day. And yeah, just have a good day. Second, thanks for my subscribers. Thanks for watching, tuning in, watching this video. I was going to call this project FUBAR, but it seems to me that a lot of guys and gals like the name Frankenstein. So we'll call it Frankenstein. How's that? Name change, sort of, I guess. I don't know, but that way we can call it Frankie for short, and everybody knows what it is. It's Frankenstein now, and that's what we'll go with. So a lot of people like that name, and we'll just kind of stick with that. So left off last video doing a patch underneath the rear seat, where the seat belt area is at, underneath the back seat. I did video that, however my dumb butt deleted it. So I'm going to show you the other side. I'm doing it today. Going to repair that area. I've already cut the piece out that I'm going to weld back in. I'll show you how I stencil it out. This is pretty easy for me because I've got the area out of Project Frankenstein. So I'm going to use that, and so that makes it easy. If you don't have an old floor pan laying around, you can just take the regular piece of metal, as long as it's the same gauge, and use it as a stencil and cut it out and put it in. This area is a little bit contoured underneath that seat area that I'm putting in, so it kind of makes it easy to put it back where it goes. I'm going to show you the area I cut out. The one I did is already kind of smoothed out, ready to sand down, etch prime, 2K, or epoxy. I decided I might put epoxy on the floor. That's what I did on Field Snake. Turned out pretty good. I don't use epoxy on the outside, but I don't mind doing it on interior because you can paint over it with paint, base, and clear within 24 hours. You don't got to scuff it or none of that. And it does pretty good. Well, hold on. Say hi, Baker. She's playing today. What are you doing? So, anybody that don't know, that's Miss Baker. She's my shop cat. So she was in the house locked up yesterday. Well, not locked up, but she didn't get outside yesterday. It was kind of cold out. So she's running around, kind of chilling out today. So I'll show you the area that I put in, which she's setting in now. Maybe she'll move. And the one that I've got cut out, I'll show you that first, and then I'll show you it stenciled in on the rear clip that I'm going to use for parts. So let's check this out real quick. All right. So like I said, Miss Baker is in my way. What's good, sweetie? So she's chilling. This is the area I cut out. Originally, I thought it was going to be like maybe a 4-inch patch, just like the one on the other side. But it had I won't say it had any worse rust, but it had some over here on this frame rail that you guys seen in the last video. So I wanted to get rid of all that. Weld it up super nice. I gap weld all my stuff in. I don't overlap anything. Gap welding just basically means you got an 1/8 inch gap in between the two pieces of metal you're welding in. That's all that really means. And here's what is up with you today. Come on. So that's the area now I'm cutting out. It's probably like a 5x4 inch patch or something like that. And then over here, this is the piece I cut out of that clip. Essentially, like I said, it is contoured right here, so it makes it easy for me to just use this rear clip as a patch. I'll essentially just set that on top, use a Sharpie. Now we'll take it out a little bit further, so once I set it in, you're going to have a little bit of material missing in between here and there, which is kind of what you want. But I always cut it out a little bit bigger, just in case I mess up or something like that. So that's basically what I'm doing today. There's another little spot over by the other seatbelt area that I'm going to replace. It's really small. I'll show you that probably when it's done. And then there's a plug in the back trunk. I'll show you real quick. The drain plug area right here. It's not bad. It's just missing this little piece. I could probably weld that in and just file it down, but it's got a little surface rust around it. I mean, it's super solid, but so I'll probably just square it in and then weld it back in, make it look a lot better. So, but that's it. And the rest of the trunk is super solid, no issues. So yeah, that's what we're doing today. Put in a couple patches, and then that's pretty much it for metal work. Oh, I did get, let's check this out real quick. My crossbar cut out this morning. Got all that. I got to clean it up right here. If you see how good that weld was, it's super nice. Now, like I said in the other videos, I'm going to clean this up right through here, and then stitch weld this lower cowl back to this A-pillar here, and then also down through here. And if you had some concerns about my welds and all that other stuff, See how burned in this is? You can see the bead from the inside all the way down through here. So them welds I got going on are burned in pretty hot. So after that, I'm going to dress up the A-pillars a little bit where the upper baffle goes. I'm going to get some etch primer put in there, 2K, and I may even paint it and then put the outer baffle on today and get that ready to go. So if y'all want to hang out and see a little progress today, maybe I'll try to video me doing some of the work. But honestly, to watch me weld shit and just sand and scuff and weld, it's kind of a waste of time. I just more of a watch the progress type deal. That's kind of what I do. Once I get moving and grooving and I start welding and cutting, setting up cameras and doing all this stuff, I won't say I ain't got time. It's just I get old and I just forget about it. So again, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I'm going to get this patch cut in, and once I get it tacked in, maybe show you a little bit of welding all the way around, whatnot. So again, let's get this cut in. All right, so I got this patch gapped in the way I like. You see I got some tack weld right through here. I put one about every inch or so up through here when I'm doing a patch. So normally on a gap, you know, you can make it as big as you want, but the bigger you make that patch, kind of the harder it is to fill that in. Normally I got a thin tip screwdriver, there's a couple 16ths. As long as it fits in all the way around, to me that's a good fill gap all the way around for a patch. Now, after you get this welded in, you can leave the weld there. I'm going to cover this with all new sound deadener, so you're not going to see it. If you just want the extra rigidity for the weld to hold, you can leave it there, or you can dress it up just a little bit like that before you put your primer and your paint on, if you're going to paint it before you put sound deadener on, which I plan to. Like I did over here, I cut it down a little bit, but you can still see the weld, because I know I'm going to put new sound deadener on the car, so you're not going to see it from the inside if you ever pull the back seat. Now underneath the car, I'm going to dress it up a little bit, because on the back half of this car, I plan on repainting the back half underneath from about here back. So yeah, I'm going to paint the underneath where the rear end sits in. This particular 93 Cobra was undercoated pretty heavy. If you see in the front up here, I think I showed you that already. Got some pretty heavy Z-Bart underneath it. So as far as cleaning the floor pan, I don't think I'm going to do much with it initially. I might down the road clean it up some. I know they do some ice blasting. I might try to do that, because my plan is to, like I said, paint from the clip that I put in, because this clip isn't undercoated. I'm going to wire wheel that and any surface rust that's under the car, epoxy prime, and then put some nice red overspray down. Maybe some edge prime first if it's got any surface rust to keep it from coming back. So that's the plan with this one, is just to paint from the clip back and then leave the rest of it undercoated. We'll see how it turns out. Maybe down the road I'll ice blast it or something, so I'm not sure. So that's the first patch. I'm going to weld that, get that burned in, show you what it looks like when that's done, and then move on to that second little patch and then do the one in the trunk. So if you're watching, they're all going to be the same. You don't have to watch the whole video. I appreciate you watching. If you just got some light rust areas in your Fox and you don't want to replace the whole pans, you can patch them in if you have a good donor car. Luckily I've got 2 or 3 donor cars back here, so if anybody needs some sheet metal, I got some. You can hit me up at foxjunk73@gmail.com. It won't be free, but I won't charge much. Who knows when I'm going to need some of this stuff now that I'm back in the rust belt. When I lived out in Utah, cars didn't rust like this back there. You didn't have much to fix unless they were sitting out in the field with the hatch off or the doors off. You really didn't have much rust at all, so good dry weather climate back there. So again, thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing. Let's get this burned in and see what it looks like. Okay, so I got this one little patch burned in real quick. Gonna move on to the other one. I'll show you this one real quick. Hadn't ground dressed it down at all, so let me know what y'all think. All right, so this is the patch got burned in. Looked really nice. Now once you get this to this area, like I said, you can dress it up some like I did that, but you don't have to. The important thing is underneath the car. If you're planning on doing repaint or make it look factory underneath, you want to gap weld it in, so you can go underneath, grind it down, maybe put a little bit of all metal under there, dress it up, prime it, paint it from underneath so it looks really nice underneath. But an area like this, you can leave those welds. If you're planning on putting new sound deadener down, you're not going to see it, so it's not important to make it look like it's never been touched underneath the back seat. The important thing is under the car. If you're planning on doing any paint work, gap weld it in, have enough material to dress it down, make it look good, so you can prime and paint that. So yeah, won't beat that dead horse. I'm going to go ahead and finish these other 2 areas and then get those in, show you what they look like when they're done, and All the metal work will be done except for the baffles up here. I still have to weld those back in, but like I said, I'm going to etch prime, epoxy, and then paint this area before we put this outer baffle back on, and that'll be complete for the front. So that'll be all the metal work done on Project Frankenstein, and that's going to lead me to stripping this original paint, get this in primer, find out if there's any dents. I don't think there's any. There might be one or two little small ones, but that's really about it. Get this four-cylinder rear end out of this car, get the underneath cleaned up, wire wheeled, epoxy prime, get some paint underneath of it, and get that done. Show you that progress when I get to that, but right now I'm just going to finish up these welds and get this done for the inside, and the sheet metal work will be done. This car came together fast. If you have any questions, you can hit me up at foxjunk73@gmail.com. I'll finish these up, show you what they look like they're done, and end this video. Like I said, if you're still watching, I appreciate it. You don't have to. It's simple stuff. Cut, weld, grind, prime. That's it. So if I make it look easy, that's just because I've been doing it a long time. If you're intimidated by stuff like this, let me know, and I'm glad to walk you through it. So thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Let's get this finished up. Alrighty, so yesterday I got the rest of the floor pan welded in underneath the rear seat. I did dress it up a little bit. I'll show you what that turned out like. I did get the rear end pulled out yesterday as well, so I didn't get to finish up the video. Obviously, I'm different clothes. So I'm going to show you all underneath the rear seat. It looks really good. Inside's done, I think. Far from getting it all sanded down, primed up, and painted up. The interior part's done, the clip's welded on, and the body is all one piece. So I'll give you a quick rundown on that, show you what it looks like dressed up. Let me know what y'all think so far. Project Frankenstein it is, and we'll stick with that. And let me know what you think of my progress. Did I fix it the right way? How would you have fixed it? And just give me your opinions. foxjunk73@gmail.com, or hit me up below. So let's check it out. All right. So I ended up fixing that patch. I got it dressed up a little bit. It looks super nice. And I got that patch put in. And I found two more little holes over here that I cut a patch out and put in over here on the side. So all in all, the seat floor underneath the rear seat looks super nice. Looks factory. Get it a little more dressed up. Should look up really, really good. Floor pan's done. All one piece. Got all the welding done up in there. All that done. Like I said, I got the rear end pulled out yesterday. It's ready to basically start sanding on. So yeah, next step, I'm going to get the body stripped down to bare metal, etch prime 2K, get a block sanded, get it put in prime. And then once that's done, I'll focus back on the interior of the car, get all that cleaned up, sanded down. Make sure I didn't miss any pinholes where I put in the patches. If I got any left, I'll tack them back up and grind them back down and get that sanded down, ready to go. I'll clean up around the edges, around the rockers and the floor pan where I welded all that in. I'm going to dress it up just a little bit before I put the seam sealer on top of that. Not much, just a little bit. Then I'll get that primed in, seam seal, and then paint on top of that. And then I'll put new sound dender down underneath the back seat, and then some in the trunk once I get that cleaned up also. So all in all, this project's kind of rolling along really fast. For those of you who are watching the series, let me know what you think so far, and I'm going to keep up updates. I'll let you know how it's going. Again, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing, and you guys have a good weekend.